that's the freakiest thing I've ever seen on a Q Sports table across any Q Sport ever. That's unreal. I feel like everything you're going to show us from here on, Marty, is a step down from that.
Big welcome to Jamie Stevens as a special co-host today, mate. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, mate.
We've got heaps to talk about the National today and a whole bunch of stuff that we want to cover. So good to have you here. Support for today's show comes from Gary Bradshaw Photography. Gaza B shoots weddings, family shots, corporate portraits, events, and just about anything else, including great club photos. Gaza has been a great support of 8 Ball in Australia and is the official photographer at the AEBF Nationals. Check out some of his work on today's thumbnail, and for all your photography needs, see Gary Bradshaw Photography.
What I thought about this semis was everyone, I think 10 was very good, just the whole match, not surprising. And everyone else, Gorski struggled throughout the whole match.
Yeah,
but everyone else played a bad frame, but they also played a really good frame too. And that was good. Like Dakota made a nice out in the first frame. It was actually really good to see. And then he stuffed up the next frame, and then he was on a good out in the next one. Reese didn't get a shot, but then he made a good out. Chuka made a good out and then mucked up another one. And Mark Owens mucked up a frame, but then made a good out in another. So there was a lot of at least, there was hit and miss, but at least there was a lot of hit in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I think it was a better stand than what we've seen through the week, but I guess that happens all nationals. You know, you get your top four sides, and then suddenly you start seeing racks getting run, and not so much racks getting run in this particular tournament. I'm not sure what the reason is, whether it's a standard, a table thing, conditions, whatever it is. But I just remember you're just praying to get to the table, have a shot, and if you do, you're just going to make the most. Otherwise, you just get punished. It wasn't unusual to see, 7 or 8 racks run in a match, semis, final, whatever. It just seemed to be the standard increased as you got deeper into the tournament.
Yeah, I think that's what we expect.
Did you guys ever, I never spoke about this because I always felt like it was maybe would come across not how meant to, but did you guys ever, when you were playing, so you're playing through the round robin stage, and there's obviously you're trying to win frames for your team, but also win frames for yourself. Even just saying that in the wrong environment, you're probably going to get a bad look from people. But you're winning it for yourself and for your team. They go hand in hand because you have individual and team goals. I've always found that once the round robin stage was over and finals started, I felt like half that pressure left. Like the individual stats and all that stuff is now gone. And now it's just about, you can just focus on the team.
I see, because they don't count the team
stats,
the finals in the individual stats for team selection.
Yeah. So there's more pressure in finals, but it's just, I felt like it was sort of more just coming from one direction, not both. Like when you're playing against one of the weaker states in the round robin stage, you can be 15-4 up and you're still under the pump because you've got your individual goals as well. I don't know if other people, I've never mentioned it to anyone. I don't think I've even mentioned it to Mick, but it's curious if you guys were like that.
Yeah, my experience is when you get to finals, obviously it's just louder. I find it easier when there's so much noise in the room to just drown out any bad thoughts in your head. It kind of just engulfs you, and then suddenly you just find yourself in the zone, and then just the concentration kicks in naturally, and you just simply just go about your business. The pressure sort of disappears, which sounds really counterintuitive because you hear all the noise and all that sort of stuff, and you think that would apply more pressure. But for me, all that noise drowns out anything that could possibly be going through your head that's negative, and you just get on with it. And then obviously, you win a frame, you get pumped, the adrenaline runs, you just run with it.
I think you might need to elaborate a little bit more, Mark, about why you've got that individual pressure as well, for obviously people out there that are listening to this that don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about obviously, making the Australian side, player of the carnivals, things like that. That's what you mean by individual goals as well.
Yeah. Well, like it, obviously some people are more focused on individual goals than others, each to their own. But you know that when you're high in the stats and you're thereabouts, every frame really matters when it comes to Australian selection. And then you may know that you're in the Australian team, and if you're doing that well, you might be in contention for Player of the Carnival, or you might be trying to get ranked in the top 5 or ranked number 1 in the country. Like, all these things can build up. I was my worst when I was my very best year when I won Player of the Carnival.
Storm is coming.
It was I drove Mick insane. I drove him insane, the poor bastard, because I actually got off to such a good start. I was on like 19-1. And I couldn't play any better. And I was with such a strong Vic side. Everything was perfect. I was getting the run. Everything was amazing. And then it just dawned on me that, like, how well I'm going. And then that actually made it worse because I was going so good. All of a sudden I felt like I had to protect every single frame I played, even when we'd already won, and every frame I lost felt so damaging. And I was a wreck for the whole trip.
I think the worst part was Justin Sage was actually going with you. So you were on very similar
Killing it.
frames and you were checking stats and all sorts of stuff.
I had a look at the points tally for what Justin and I scored compared to other Player of the Carnival people won, and the average Player of the Carnival scored about like 3,300 points or something for the average Player of the Carnival. Justin and I scored something like 3,800, and
It's just
he
like
had
the number of frames that you've won. Is it? Is that how
frames and Australian title that gets you points and the plate?
I see. Yeah.
Justin won the Australian title.
Mm-hmm.
And I won the plate, but I beat him in the final. But I finished like 4 frames clear, but I finished on like 85% or something. So, and he finished on like 80%. So it was ridiculous. He wouldn't go away. And yeah, so that was the most amount of pressure. And then once the round robin had finished, I was like, okay, that's all done now. Whatever will be with all that stuff. And now I can just focus 100% on the teams. So I just wonder, like, the other players, like, there would be, I don't know what the end stats were for a lot of these guys because they removed them, but guys like Dakota, he was flying. I know Josh Gorski was in the mix. Jack Green was making a comeback on the stats. And I just wonder how much, I would like to ask them when they get back, like, was it on your mind at all going into the last few days? I'm just curious.
Do you know, it was interesting. I think I might have touched on this in the past, and obviously I've never, like, you guys have all played for Australia, and I haven't kind of been up at that level. There's an interesting situation in '99 at the Nationals there, which was in Melbourne when the Crown Casino was in a different, I forget what it's called now.
Yeah, the old, that's the exhibition centre now.
Yeah, and where the exhibition centre was. So the Crown Casino was in there. So all of the round robin was played in a big open area, but the finals were played in a theatre with tiered seating. So the finals were a different venue to the rest of the venue. So, and you literally, they set up tables on a stage in a theatre with tiered seating, and that's where you played. So the thing you just said, Jamie, when the pressure's all off, like when I walked out onto that stage with this tiered seating there, it's literally a performance. You are literally in a theatre performing for these people. So you got this whole new kind of pressure that you hadn't experienced for the entire tournament that was coming in you. So it wasn't, if we had just been in the main room and playing in the same area where we'd always played, I think I would have felt much more comfortable. But I got incredibly nervous, not just because of the fact that I was playing in a final, but because of the environment that I was playing
Different
in. It was
room,
completely new.
It was, I was there as well. It was different because there was no noise like you have, when you're in one of these venues you're normally playing at. There's heaps of people around the area and there's lots of screaming. They're all just sitting there like they're watching a 3D movie, and there's cheering and stuff, but it's just not the same. It was really strange. I remember playing in that.
The whole crowd's sitting down, right? They're not standing up like they are normally. They're all, so they feel, again, less inclined to yell and scream like they normally would, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a strange one, but it was an amazing setup.
You've seen a lot of nationals over times. How many times have you been to a national titles, Jamie?
I'm gonna say 13, but it sounds really bad, but I don't actually know the number. It's up around.
Played in 13, but
yeah,
but have you attended some more?
Me too. 13, Jamie.
Me too, 13 as
I
well.
mean, obviously,
Oh, there we go.
I'm glad I missed out in recent years. I mean, I haven't tried out for the last, well, ever since I chopped up that black against WA in the semi. I haven't been back. Just left too big a scalp.
Jamie mentions that about probably about once every 3
Oh,
months.
I'll never get
Somehow
over it. It's just I had a
yeah.
really good carnival. It was just brutal. You know, that one shot just ruined
You,
everything.
you know why? Because we ended up losing that match. If we end up winning that match, it can't be forgotten.
Possibly, yeah. When you go out there and you're playing for your team, if I'd have missed out in a singles match, I'd have probably be seething about it for a while, but I'd be well over it years later now. But when you let your team down, it's not just the miss, it's the look on their faces when you go back to the team. They're trying to stay supportive, but you can see deep in their eyes that they just hate you at that moment. They hate what you just did out there, and there's still going to be your teammates, but they are just absolutely filthy. It's the worst feeling in the world, letting your teammates down. There's nothing you do about it other than say sorry, and it's not good enough, you know. Like, you just got to get out there and pot the balls. It's simple as that. But
Sorry doesn't put the black in the hole,
sometimes
Jamie.
it's hard, man.
Yeah.
I can walk you through it step by step because I've popped my last ball, and it's just slid in off the jaw, and I've given this kind of raised my eyes to the roof as in, "Fool, that was lucky." Yeah, I'm walking around to the black, and I've made eye contact with Dave Ewing. For some reason, I've just made eye contact with him, and I've just like done this big sort of sigh of release sort of thing. And then I just get down. I don't even line the black. I just hit it. I don't. Every time, I mean, obviously you guys have all seen me play pool for a long time. I tend to step back, address the ball, walk into the shot, go through the standard routine that every player goes through, whatever it is.
You look off to the corner to reset yourself.
Yeah,
Every shot, you do the eye look up and then you look back at the table.
whatever it may be. I did none of that, and I got down and I just lined it up across the line and just hit it like an absolute potato. And I don't even up hit the jaws, to be honest. And then Manda just basically, I'm sure he's just thinking, "Thank you very much," and just cleaned me up and went back and high fived his team, and they were all smiling at him, weren't they? Yeah, it was a horrible experience. But you take the good with the bad. I've had some good experiences over those 13 nationals as well. I've had some. Unfortunately, I've been anchor. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, I've been anchor for Victoria so many times. I've lost frames any crucial moments. I've won frames at crucial moments. So it's not all bad, and you've just got to try and balance out the good memories of the bad.
But when it really mattered,
Depends what year you're talking about.
you did well.
Yeah,
You've had a good
I think
career, mate.
I think my record would be better than worse. For that role, but you don't remember those ones, sadly. You only remember the bad ones because they're the ones that hurt. Yeah, let's stop talking about this, eh?
All right, let me try and move on. I'm just going to focus almost exclusively on the nationals today. So obviously the Australian 8-ball national titles have been on. We are a week and a bit. We covered a little bit last week, so we're probably a week and a half in. They're all at the final stage today on the major events. So we won't cover the finals of the major events, but some events have been completed. The big thing this year has been the inclusion of New Zealand South and New Zealand North. New Zealanders coming over to be in the nationals. So just quick around the rounds. What's your take on New Zealand being involved? Jamie, I'll start with you. You're a guest. I'll start with you. We'll go to the other
I've
boys.
chatted to the boys about this already. Other than Simon winning the plate, and Simon's an exceptional player, and he's been over him multiple times and given a good account of himself. I think it's good that New Zealand haven't won anything the first year they've come over. I think it's fair to say that the standard of the player base in the Nationals isn't as high as what it's been over previous years. A lot of the players just simply aren't playing as much as they used to, or whatever. And I think for New Zealand to come over and dominate the first year I don't think it would leave a very good taste in everyone's mouth, but I'd love to see them over the coming years. They come over now, they make a 4 next year, and then maybe a final the year after, and then maybe win it. You know what I mean? Like that, this progressive stage that they may have, because I think they haven't sent over their best possible teams, and I think what will happen is these guys from New Zealand will go back home, tell all their mates what an amazing experience they've had, because from what I've heard, they've all really enjoyed it, and then the bug will catch on, and then they'll all want to start coming over, and then you'll start seeing some stronger New Zealand teams, and they'll be far more competitive. So I think it's been a great addition. I think it's personally, I think it's the start of something bigger, and that's just my thoughts on it. I don't know how true. There's no truth to that, but I just think there's something bigger in the pipeline happening.
Yeah, I've got some feedback from the ABF, but I just want to get a reaction first. So I'll keep going. Mick, what about you? What's your thoughts on New Zealand being
For
involved?
one, I actually didn't realise that there was two of them down here. I thought it was only one. So when I saw two of them, yeah, it took me a little bit by surprise. But I'm not sure whether having two come down from New Zealand or whether they should just have one big tryout, one big playoff, and send one good team down is the way to go. But for now, this is all new, and I guess we need to let things play out, and then we can work it out from there. But I thought Simon was going to win something when he came down. I picked him to possibly win the Australian singles. He's won the plate, and you know what? That's almost just as hard. It's just the same tournament with not, your races a little bit shorter. A win is a win at nationals, and yeah, I think they've all enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to hear what they say when they start playing at 2, 3, 4 nationals when the teams are a little bit different. Some nationals are hard and some nationals aren't quite as hard, and some nationals are really hard. Like the difference every year is crazy. We don't know what we're going to get. So we didn't know what we're going to get this round. We don't know what we're going to get next year in Queensland. There were a lot of players out, but there's also a lot of new players in. So it's nice to see guys like your Jack Green and your Dempseys and all the young blood in all the other teams, all the other states as well, come up and, basically start taking over us. So I think it was all good. It was all good. A lot of people I've known for years, obviously I can only speak for Victoria because I see them a lot, like Dakota and all that. Seeing them play today or tonight and over the last week and a half, it's nice because now they can now feel what it's like when we were out there, and now, I mean, Mark and I was at Mark's house just before we were watching it, and the heart's still pumping, and a part of us wishes we were there with them doing it, and it's we're never going to lose that because we're competitors, but it's all part of nationals, and yes, it's a lot of money going away, but I don't know. I just for me, I'm happy being here, but a part of me when I start watching it, I want to be there too. So it's been a big part of our life, all of us.
And New Zealand?
And New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next year, but yeah,
That
I rambled on a little bit, but
that young Kobe East from SA impressed me as well. Only 15-year-old kid. I thought he was quite good.
He was great. Yeah, I think I commentated one of his matches. Like there was some shot selection that was obviously a bit wrong, but he's so young. But his execution was just really, really bang on. He's knocking in some great balls. So yeah, it was great to see him.
do we have an official name for the Australian title if someone from New Zealand win it?
So I'm going to get to that, but Mike, let me get your reaction on just New Zealand being involved first, and I'll try and cover off some of the formal stuff there.
Well, I hadn't really thought about it too much, but I'm just sort of recalling all my reactions when I saw them in the draw and their name on the team sheet and everything. And I always think I had a positive, good feeling from it. I never thought, oh, why are they there, or he shouldn't be here or something. There was a weird thought like, what if Simon won the singles, or what if one of the New Zealand teams won the Australian title? That felt weird, but I just and then I thought, if this tournament just had a different name, Oceania or whatever, we've spoken about it in another chat, some different name. And you know what I think I would like? I think I would like an official closure on the old nationals. I think that almost needs to be said or something by saying the old nationals, the way how the four of us, we've all played in it and everything, that's now finished. Though those record books are closed, that's the end of that chapter. We are now moving on to this new thing. I think I could embrace it a lot more as well, because eventually someone like Simon or Adam Lilly, Des Wilcox, these guys are all really good players. They could win the Australian title. If New Zealand get all these boys together and send it over, their team could win the Australian title. but I'm sure to be renamed to something else, and then I would have no issues with it. But I think I would like an official, almost like an official close of the old nationals. That's done now. Time to move on.
Yeah, it was. So for me, I thought it was great to see the New Zealand teams here. I think they raised the level of the competition. It was good to have more teams, and like Jamie said, they weren't winning it, but they were in amongst it. They're causing some havoc for the other teams. And I think it's just made the tournament better to have them around. It was great to hear. John Saundercock got on the commentary a lot. So did Simon Singleton. So apparently they don't play international rules in their local leagues. I presume that they play world rules or something in New Zealand.
Well, they've got
but
weird rules there. It's not even world rules, I don't think. They've got some
it's something different
rules thing, yeah. Simon's been working hard to try and change it for years, I think.
Yeah, so they've been adapting to what's going on, but that's been kind of really
I suppose
nice.
now if they're serious, they should get, now that they've had a taste of nationals, get a few of these tables up there or whatever, play international rules, and maybe have a league up there. Get familiar with it, get good at it, even better than what they are, and be ready for next nationals when they come down. So I think New Zealand can do a lot of damage down here. They're just going to have to now do a little bit of work back up there and catch up a little bit. But I think they can be a force to be reckoned with.
All right, so let me cover off some of the official stuff. So as I do, I contacted the AABF and I got some answers on some of these questions because we want to know. So what happens if a New Zealand player is a winner? The answer is they just won the Australian title, the same as you might have an international player come and win the Australian Open in tennis. They are the winner of the Australian title. So rather than say they're the Australian champion, it's just they are the winner of the Australian title. Same would be true of the teams event.
So New Zealand would be the
winner of the Australian Championship. Yes. It is quite possible in future. This is coming from the ABF. It is quite possible in future that we might call it the Oceania Championship instead. That seems like if things go well and this keeps continuing, it seems like a natural progression. And I, for one, reckon that's bloody fantastic. Would lift the level.
Are other countries going to be able to come down then and play in our?
That's what I think will happen.
It opens up. It opens us up. Like,
yeah,
is that great?
So this is my theory on it. Right? Tell me if I'm wrong or if you've heard otherwise, Marty. But my theory on this, and I've heard this from Noah. This is just how I see progression. I think, and it's very weird what I'm about to say because of ABF obviously being aligned with Ultimate Pool right now, which is obviously English based. But I think maybe Australia's a bit sick of the whole shafting that they've copped from England in regards to world titles hosting. It's just that we should have had the world titles by now. There's just no reason why not. Anyway, I think that maybe there could potentially be some kind of Oceania World Championships in the pipeline. So you might get Malaysia and China and Singapore and whatever Asian countries involved. You might have 15 different oceanic countries over here playing in a giant event that is in some ways a breakaway from the current world body. But I don't know how many punches to the ribs do you take for something like this. I mean, we spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars going away every year. And then to ask the countries from the other side of the pond to put their hands in their pockets and come over to get the response of, no, it costs too much money. It's not good enough, really. So I think the natural progression to this could be that there could be something big coming up, moving down the track. Could be all wrong, of course.
I mean, whether it's a breakaway or not, like I think having a bigger competition with more players increases the prestige, grows more talent. All of those things are good for the game in our country. So I think, bring it on, I say.
As long as it's on 7-footers, I don't care who plays.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rule set matters more than the tables do. Like the fact is we just have a bunch of different types of tables all around the country.
Tables matter heaps. Like I think the tables. I'll never play nationals. I don't think if on Supremes or on Brassens or any of these ones. They need to go back to 7-footers. Like what we always play on. So I don't know. I'm not going to say never, but it's yeah. I'm still like what Jamie said before. I'm still dirty about it all, and it's going to take a lot for me to actually give a shit about what the other side do. So I'm still filthy about it. I've put in my time
Yep.
like the rest of these boys here, and you know, to work our butts off to be able to make a stateside to go away, then have to do like really well to make it top 8 in Australia to then get picked, and then that all happened, and then for them to just say nah, no chance, and it was poor form, and I feel like we should get our money back for for a lot of it in a way.
And
But yeah, I'm dirty about it, so
correct me
I'm
if
gonna
I'm
stop
wrong as
talking.
well. I think that the proposal was actually accepted to begin with, and then suddenly it was not. And
Well, that's why that year was by a mile the hardest nationals ever. That was insanely hard. The one that Stone Stenhouse won. My God, that was just the difficulty level. That one was through the roof. I remember looking at the last 32 lineup, and there must have been probably anyone in that top 32 could have won the tournament. It was crazy. And the reason was because we all wanted to make that Australian side because the world titles are supposed to be in Albury that year.
That's right.
So we're all like, well, shit. Everyone played. Everyone was there. And then the Aussie team gets selected, very strong team. Here we go. And then, nope, they can't afford it. Well, neither could we for 40 years, and we made it happen.
as I said, I personally think that they should have boycotted the world titles that year. But there's two problems with that. They wouldn't have cared. And number two,
They wouldn't have cared, and that's the issue.
yeah, the AEBF also have a duty to send a team away. Can you imagine if one of those guys made their first Australian team and then they boycott the Worlds and then they don't go? That would have been on the other side of the coin equally as bad. So they've got to send a team away, and these guys know that, and that's the part that really sucks.
Let me cover off another quirk of New Zealand being involved, which is the Australian team selection. So a couple of things here. If there was, it's not going to play out now, but if there was a New Zealand player that had won the Australian singles, then obviously they are ineligible to play for Australia because they're not Australian. So there just would be no singles player picked in the Australian team, and they would just go back to their default for frames. Same is true for player of the carnival. If a New Zealand player wins player of the carnival, then obviously they can't get selected for the Australian team, so it just goes back to the defaults. And the last piece is the selection then falls back to frame scores. I can tell you that all of the frames played against the teams from New Zealand are not counted in the selection of players for the Australian team. So there's been a bit of discussion on Facebook because the stats were taken down a couple of days ago, which is actually reasonably normal. I think this happens.
Was that a decision made from the
No,
start?
that's never
or
happened,
was that...
Marty.
I've seen it happen before, Jamie.
No,
absolutely.
No way. Not at nationals.
The stats are normally, I'm sure it's happened before, but the stats are normally up for the whole thing. But I'm sure they've taken them down at some point in the past.
Yeah. So there's two things. One is everyone who was looking at their percentages before, those percentages included frames against New Zealand players. So the percentages are not the percentages that you think they are. And the other thing is they're trying to create a bit of tension ahead of the Australian team selection. Right?
Why don't they just, so let's say, just have it all normal as is. Let's just take Simon. I don't even know what he shot. I'm sure he shot big stats. Let's say under their whole criteria, you're treating Simon as if he's a normal first-year player. All that's the same. And you would normally, and the computer spits him out as being selected at number 8, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you then just remove him?
Exactly.
And then everyone goes up a spot.
So I thought about this.
I don't know the answer. I'm just telling you what's happening.
I thought about this because I thought, what happens if I'm thinking this myself. I haven't discussed with anyone. I thought, what happens if someone from New Zealand makes it? And my thought was, well, you just remove them. And then I started thinking about what about this, who they've beaten in frames and all that sort of stuff. Is that going to matter? And maybe you should check the stats. And then I quickly dismissed it and thought, no, it's ridiculous because every team is playing their teams, whether they draw the same people or not. That's just the way the draw goes. So I think
Can you
removing
imagine,
this,
can you imagine how much it would do your head in? How much would it do your head in? Say you're playing New Zealand and then you're playing against WA and you win 3 awesome frames against New Zealand and then you lose 3 frames against WA. So for the day you're on 0 and 3.
it's crazy.
Yeah. And don't forget they're doing there's an adjustment for master breaks for and against.
That's normal.
So if you I understand that's normal, but if you have a bunch of master breaks against New Zealand, now you don't have them.
Yeah.
And if you had a bunch of master breaks
So they don't
against you,
exist.
now
New
they're-
Zealand don't exist.
Basically.
So New Zealand don't.
For-
They basically don't exist. It's
for the
just,
purposes of
it's like
selecting the Australian team, yes.
New Zealand is like monopoly money. That's what they are.
Yeah. And I think what that means is that
It's just stupid.
for comparison to previous years,
I'm annoyed now.
You can be annoyed. For comparison
Outta
to
here.
previous years, the number of frames played will be now comparable to previous years because obviously everyone will have played, in theory, 6 more frames, right?
Yeah,
if
that
you
makes
play
sense.
every team once. So now I haven't tried to analyze whether I think that's helpful or a hindrance, but it is just
At
different.
some point, they've got to
Um,
draw a line in the sand and go, well, this is now.
Well,
the
when
extra
will
6
they do it?
frames.
Yeah, because eventually they're
Don't
going to
know,
have to
it's-
start putting them
it's
in.
And then what happens if
it's
another team comes in next year from, I don't know, Kangaroo Island or something?
Yeah.
Hawaii.
I remember Tem killed it his first year, but he wasn't an Australian citizen yet.
Correct.
He easily would have been selected in the top few.
Yeah.
Definitely in the top 8. And they just didn't select him, and everyone just got bumped up a spot.
And I
What's
think
so hard about that?
think that was true of Stacey Vine as well, his first year
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Yes, that's having safety. It wasn't a big deal.
I mean,
Everyone was happy, actually. Good. Everyone went up a
personally,
spot.
I think
People were
if
happy.
if you're a non-Australian citizen, but you've been over here forever and a day, I think Tem had been for a couple of years at least by then. Yeah. If you get,
Why not?
I reckon they just get the medal, but they just give the extra medal, and that person's just they're there, but they're not. They're not part of the team, so they just kind of get bumped
Oh,
up.
I
They
see,
still
yeah.
earn their medal.
Correct.
you know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say. Why not leave Simon there if he finishes 4th? Just say, okay, Simon finished equal 4th with this person, but he gets a medal, but he just moves off to the side, and that person is there. Like they exist, but they don't exist, but they still get the medal. If they deserve it, they should deserve. If they're there playing our nationals, now they're a part of it. If they've done well enough to deserve a medal and pretend to go away, then give it to them. Give them that medal, because right now, in 5 or 10 years from now, when they are coming down every year, then you're going to have all those stats and you're going to have all those. I don't know. I think you should just give them a medal, and like what Jamie said.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
idea.
Costs whatever it costs for a medal. That's what it costs. There's no damage done
Yeah.
otherwise. The team photos gets
Yeah.
taken. Sorry, Simon, can you please just jump the solo? We take a photo of the actual Australian team, but you've got your medal. Take
Yeah.
a photo with you.
Yeah.
And take a photo of the team that actually is officially selected, and everyone's happy. No damage done.
Yeah, I don't see the problem with that.
He walks up there,
Yeah, I like-
gets his medal
I like
like everybody else. He's deserved it. He's paid his money to come across. It's not hard.
Seems very complicated the way they've done it.
I mean, we haven't seen the presentation yet, so they might still do something like that. Don't know. There might
Oh.
be some awards for the New Zealand players.
So,
Don't know.
did you get
But let's.
Did you get the official wording as to why they removed the stats, or do you believe it's because of the removal of the New Zealand stats as to it would complicate things too much?
I don't know why. I was asking what happens with the Australian team selection, and the singles winner and the player of the carnival, that obviously makes sense. That just, if that's won by a New Zealand player, they obviously can't get selected in the Australian team. So it's simple, fair enough. But I still think that they would still be the singles winner and still be the player of the carnival. We might well have a New Zealand player of the carnival. Who knows? So they would get their medal for that, presumably, but not an Australian team medal.
Just seems really complicated the way they've
The
done
one
it.
thing I do like about I've got no idea who's won the player of the carnival. I've got no idea. And I couldn't even tell you who the Australian side's going to be because I didn't really look at stats that much, Yeah, and then
It does make it more
you go to
exciting.
look at it at the end, and you think,
Yeah, I
okay,
agree.
the Australian team, or at least 6 or 7 of them, and then I've got
Mm.
no idea now. For all I
Yeah,
know,
it is.
some dude from Tassie in his first year shot 75%, and he's in the team. I've got no idea.
Yeah,
And so for that, I reckon it's good for that reason.
Hmm.
Dakota might have snuck in.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. There was one other new thing this year that I think was really good. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they had a what they called a T140 event for players with issues with accessibility. So let me just explain this because this is interesting to see how it works. It was nice to kind of include some people with accessibility issues or disabilities. So they get a rating, a bit like what they do with Fargo ratings in the US. So it's a handicap event. Mark, if you and I had a different Fargo rating and we played a race to 11, I might get a 3-frame head start or something like that because of our rating difference. So there's that. Then it's a timed match. So rather than a race, it's just a 20 minutes. And then they get the races must be the matches must be counting balls. Then it's a count of balls potted as well. So you end up with like a very level playing field, and people with accessibility issues that just limit their ability to pot a ball can still have a low rating, high handicap, pot a couple of balls and feel like they've competed in their match. So that was the first time that's ever happened at this event. Now, nice to just see them giving that a go and bringing some people along with various levels of disability and accessibility problems and try and give them a chance to play some pool.
Yeah, I mean, Black Ball's been doing that for a while. They've got a disability division or section, but
Right.
it's like they've extended on that with a rating based on what your disability might be. And I think that's actually an excellent idea because you're going to get some people whose disability isn't as severe as someone else's, as an example, and they could just completely dominate. Now, if I was to use an example, I think young Michael Henderson in Queensland, he's pretty dominant, in that section. Now, if he gets this rating, and he has to give frame head starts and it pegs him back, like sort of stuff, it makes these other players that might not win far more competitive. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, good to see him trying that and have that coming along. All right, let's cover some. I'm going to cover some of the completed events. So we won't deep dive onto the events still going. So the teams and the singles still going, but the plate and the doubles is done. So here's some winners for you. In the Masters Plate, Alan Brown defeated Jeremy Maguire from Tasmania 5-4.
That was actually a very good final. I watched that. It was an excellent final.
It was. And I can tell you, Alan Brown did not drop a frame for the first 5 rounds.
Wow.
And Jeremy Maguire was the only person who got close to him for the entire tournament, 5-4. So well done, Alan. Massive event.
Not surprised to hear those two in the final and having a close match.
Yeah, good stuff.
They would have had a lot of battles over the years, and it sounds like they're going to be doing it again.
Yeah. In the women's plate, Lyndall Alamed from Victoria has defeated Christy Henville from WA 5-0.
Yes.
Whitewash.
Well, Lyndall, well done.
But on Lyndall.
Christy, a good player too, so that's a good win.
Yeah, she's been away from the game for a while. It's good to see her back.
Yeah, indeed, yes. And of course, we've already mentioned this, but in the open plate, New Zealand South's Simon Singleton has come away with the win, defeating Alex Pace, who had a good event, but got absolutely walloped in the final, 7-1 by Simon. Congratulations, Simon. Nice to see you.
Good stuff, Simon.
And Simon played exceptionally well in that final. He pretty much shut Alex out of that match for the majority of it.
So in the Masters doubles, South Australia's M. Swift and P. Edwards.
Michael Swift, Paul Edwards.
Thank you. Came away with the win. Came away with the win against, I think it's Tony Vojovic and D. Morris from WA.
Darren Morris.
Darren Morris.
Darren, well, yeah. 5-2. But well done on the win there to the South Australian boys in the Masters doubles. In the women's doubles, Victoria's Bobby Jo Quinn and Mia Newman have come away with a win against Queensland's. We've got B Campbell and S Wright.
Bonnie Campbell.
Hey, nice one.
Sorry, who was that?
Bonnie Campbell. And
Bonnie Campbell.
I don't want to take a guess. I thought it was Sandra or something, but I'm probably way off mark, so I'm not sure what her first name is. So.
Anyway, congratulations to Bobby Jo and Mia. That's a good win.
Really good win.
Yeah,
They
well
played
done.
well.
Then in the open doubles, Cooper Denman and Joe Watkins from Tassie have beaten Dave Linton and Josh Hart from Queensland 6-2. Well done, boys, on that win.
Well done.
Win.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right. Now, I've got a lot of stuff to show you guys. So this is Toby Clack, about a week ago, was honoured by the Sport Australia Hall of Fame for his services to 8-ball in Australia. And he's got himself a $2,000 grant and some support from the Sport Australia Hall of Fame for the next year and a half. So congratulations to you, Toby. Like, amazing. Like, for such a young man to have done so much in the sport. Incredible stuff, and well deserved. Good stuff.
Nice one.
Hasn't even scratched the surface yet. He's going to be a hell of a player.
He's
Good captain.
got so much ahead of him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's that Ballarat blood.
This is South Australian legend John Barton.
JB.
Been around a long, long time. JB, yeah, great guy. And here he is. He's got all the tools out for this shot. He's not.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. He's not,
Come off the rail.
He's not. He hasn't got all the height in the world, JB, but yeah, had to stretch for this one. So Spider and Rest carrying over. Great to see you at the Nationals, JB, and the Masters.
You're going to cover another hole, aren't you, JB?
Oh, this is crazy, this one. I don't even understand this. It looks like someone threw it. Look at this.
Yeah, so this is.
I love
Did
the
you catch
reaction.
that?
I love the reaction.
What the hell? What even just happened?
Watch again. Watch again. Here it comes.
Well, did that just come from the other side of the screen?
Yes. So
I
on
come from another table.
the table next to it, someone has broken. The white has jumped off the table, landed on the floor, bounced up, and onto the table as
No way.
he's getting
That's a one
position
in a
on his life.
million.
I've never seen.
So it's hit the floor. Okay, I get it. Because
Yeah,
it
it hit
comes
the
from the
floor and
table so low that it looks like someone's just underarmed it onto the table just to, have a joke.
And I can tell you that they re-racked this frame.
No.
Yeah. What were they supposed to do? Like,
Well, look where the white's going to
white ball
head.
is
and
still
just put the
moving.
white there somewhere. It didn't actually do
There
too
was a
much
lot of
damage.
debate.
I think he was going to snooker
The
himself.
yellow doesn't
Yeah,
move.
I reckon it's close.
The yellow doesn't move. They've got a footage of it. Why don't they just rewind it and spot the balls?
Well, it's only the
They would
white.
re-rack this.
It's only the
only the
white.
white.
balls.
I reckon he's snookered him. I reckon he's going to snooker himself.
100%.
Yeah.
He misses.
I
the
reckon
Tough
he's
one to
gotten away
call.
with that.
Yeah,
Luckiest shot of all time.
I think that they had no choice, but like that's what the rule would say. It's like an active under that kind of old active God rule. I don't even know what the rule is in this thing, but yeah, that's crazy.
That's
I love his
the
reaction.
freakiest thing that's the freakiest thing I've ever seen on a Q Sports table across any Q Sport ever. That's unreal.
Yeah.
To land exactly where the white ball was going to.
I feel like everything you're going to show us from here on, Marty, is a step down from that.
Now this is Alex Pace. In fact, I'll make it a bit bigger. Alex Pace and Matt Harmon. We'll just watch the end of this frame.
Flukes the ball.
Massive fluke.
So try and, I suppose, if you go back to the start of that one, what you should do if you're going to show us a fluke, try and get us to guess which ball's going to go in which pocket.
Where it's going. I still don't know the answer. Which one was it?
I still don't know.
I think maybe it was the one. Was it the one near the? I don't know.
Pick a ball.
The
So
one
one
that's
of the
dead on
reds
the
goes
right
in
hand
the
side.
right hand center pocket. Yeah, which one is it?
The dead red on the right hand side goes in the center pocket, maybe.
That one near the yellows?
I
I'm
don't know.
saying
Push
this
play.
one.
I'm gonna,
Mix.
I'm gonna say the one he's hitting.
That
Jamie,
goes
do you
in.
want to back a different horse?
Well, I initially said the one near the reds. I think it hits the other red, goes off the red near the middle, and then bounces in the middle. But it went too quick.
I think this yellow near the left hand side is the one. But anyway, let's find out. Let's watch.
It is too. It's the one on the left. Oh,
It is. It was the far one.
I still didn't see it.
Do you want to watch again? Here we go. One more time.
this time might be
Which
One more
one?
time for
The
me.
one.
So
The
what-
one.
Left
Can you
side row.
circle
This
the
yellow?
red that on that red?
The one on the left hand side. Yeah, watch that. Watch that red.
The yellow comes and doubles it.
Yeah, crazy.
Yellow comes and
Yeah,
doubles
does he
it.
pot out from there?
Yeah, let's. I've got to note that something else
No.
happens.
This is still
Oh, yeah.
tricky.
And yeah, what if the black has left himself?
That's a hard black.
Yeah.
Cuts this in, doesn't he? He just drills it.
Wow. Middle pocket.
My
Oh
God.
no, that's what.
That's
Oh no.
filthy. That is filthy.
What a frame.
What a frame! Let me just watch that.
Fear it, New Zealanders. Fear it.
It's black again. So 1, 2 goes off the white. There's off 3 cushions.
He should have played it with side to avoid the in-off in the middle.
Yeah. Forward side.
Yeah, what a crazy frame
Joking,
that
of
was.
course. Joking.
It's
All
one of
right,
those shots you just got to commit to it, don't you?
Yeah.
What is next?
Ryan. This has got to be Ryan.
This is Matt Franceschini and Ryan. Matt Franceschini versus Ryan King. Yeah, I believe it's an open table. So Matt plays safe here. Let me just see this. Oh no, if this is kind of a little bit earlier in the frame, we gotta watch the rest of this out.
Not in normal time.
Yeah, so Matt's at the no, not in normal time. Yeah, so Matt's at the table. I think it's open table, and he can't see. He's got no starter, so he just chips off this one, and that brings Ryan King to the table.
Just start smashing balls.
And there's one.
Well, they're all there now.
Well, you got to watch it.
They're there, Mick, but the way he goes about it.
Oh, the way he goes about it. That's that one. Do you want to map him from here, Mick? And
I
we'll
remember this frame.
see how it
No,
goes.
because he's already not gone the way I want him to go. All right. So, man.
So you screw off this, play the bottom of the 2, stun across with the red in the middle, play the last one at the top left, and then you got the.
If he can.
Okay, so Jamie,
No. So I'm
it's
playing
red on the line
I'm playing the
first.
left side rail first. I'm screwing back.
Oh, this one down here
Yep,
first.
And I'm screwing back to play the bond underneath the bottom of the 2 reds.
Okay, so you're coming back to a similar line that you're on now,
Yeah,
but maybe
I want
closer
to
to the
land
center.
as just off straight, like as straight as I can on that red, so I can just stun it in and play the red to the right center.
Done. Then red to the right center.
Then
Follow through.
Yeah, follow through. So I've got the drop in black, just float up the table for the black in the bottom left. That's the route I'm looking.
So-
at.
Okay, so,
I know that's
so that
not
goes in the
what's gonna
center, and then come down this line and black down the line. Okay, got it.
I think the red near the black, I'm leaving that to last because you're already in a good position where you are now. So I'm probably taking the bottom red and then depending on the angle,
Yep.
played in the center. Or if you've got some angle, you can roll in the bottom red and then you can play the red at the top right hand corner. It all depends on the angle there. So you clear those 2 and then you can go up the table for the top red and then the red near the black and then stun out for the black, I guess.
All right, let's see what happens.
But you hit it too hard.
All right, now this shot's important. I want you to pay close attention to what happens here.
Oh,
Here we go. Pay close attention.
That's disgusting.
You see?
I-
Did you see that?
it jumped.
Watch the white ball. Watch the white ball.
Did he jump it?
Jumps over the yellow.
And half ball off the other yellow to get up the table. How couldn't you guys see that?
Crazy.
I'm going to play it. I'll slow it down for you. Here
So
we
it's
go.
legit too, because it's not even a foul.
That's not.
No.
Here we go.
So do you think it wasn't on in the centre?
Half ball.
Has to have been.
Not sure.
I listened to Simon commentate earlier and he just said, this is what we have to deal with every week. Crazy.
Hang on, this frame's not over, gents. There's more to watch. There's more to watch.
Oh yeah.
Red to left middle.
Do you get that one, Mick? Hang on, I'll play it again for you. Here you go.
And he's on the black as well. And it goes in with pace too. That's so sick.
You'd want a
Jeez
javelin in your
Louise.
cue right into his chest, wouldn't you?
Well, Ryan, you've given us one of the highlights for the day. That was nice to hold.
You're
on.
not sorry, Ryan.
No,
You're
it
a
was waving
maniac,
to his
Ryan.
man. Jeez.
All right, I'm
Those
gonna
middle
put this
pockets
one
must be pretty
in
big.
a bit of
They did say
I'll
throughout the
put this on.
tournament, they were, what was the word that Simon used? Accepting. They're very
yeah, yeah.
So did the
accepting.
Russians
Yeah.
actually? Did these tables actually play okay?
I've been told that they're fine from the guys I've
All right.
spoken to.
Cool.
Uh,
So
this
no,
is Matt Pisano on the left. I've just got just one shot to watch. He's lining up the yellow here to the top left. I've just got to slow down for you here.
yellow to the top left.
Yeah,
Just,
yellow
he's
to top
slower,
left.
Marty. I'll fall asleep.
The table on the left.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh, that's right. This goes in. Bro, this is the one you played about 30 times.
Yeah. So far, these ones that Marty's played, these are ones that I sent him. When I see interesting stuff, I send it to Marty. But he's got a bunch of others. Yeah, that one. I think that one for me really highlighted how big these pockets are, because that yellow was to an open pocket. So there wasn't like a cut of the jaws to help it in or anything. It was an open pocket at pace, and he hit it so wide that it still went in.
Jamie, thanks for joining us tonight.
No, it's a
It's been
pleasure.
good
I
having you
enjoyed it.
on.